So my experience with doubting my salvation. I grew up in a Catholic family, in a Catholic home, and one of the things that I very distinctly remember about growing up Catholic is that I always wondered if I was good enough to go to heaven. And that for most of my life, there was always this little fear in the back of my mind of saying, like, well, can you ever really actually be good enough? Like, if you were to die today, where would you go? I never really knew. I always had these doubts about whether or not I was actually saved. And as I got to school at TCU and I started to investigate what it means to follow Jesus, I realized that, man, the doubting of my salvation, ultimately it came down to a misunderstanding of what the gospel really was all about. That was really at the root of why I doubted my salvation. And the biggest thing that made a difference in my struggles with wondering if I was saved or not was having somebody sit down and explain, hey, this is what the gospel really means. It doesn't mean if you're good enough you go to heaven. It's what I had learned growing up, or that's what I had picked up on, and that's what I think so many people believe, but that really wasn't what the gospel was about at all. And really the big difference happened once I had someone really explain to me, no, Sam, you're not saved because of how good you are, but you're saved because of what Jesus has done for you. And that made all the difference in the world for me. And so right now, man, I don't doubt my salvation. I have moments of where I doubt if God exists. I have moments of just not being a good person, but I know because of the gospel, I know that I can be saved. And so if you're sitting here and you're listening to this, and you're asking the question of I don't know if I'm saved, I frequently doubt my salvation, what I would say to you is, first, I would identify, why do you doubt your salvation? What is it about you that makes you wonder if you're really saved at all? I would imagine that a lot of us, we doubt our salvation because we look at our lives and we think, man, I look at my life and there's no way I'm good enough to be in God's presence. There's no way I'm good enough to be saved. And the reality is you're not, but you don't have to be. And so if you're struggling with that, I would really encourage you to take a look at what the gospel says. And if you don't know what it says, if you still think it's because you're a good person, then find somebody else that can help you explain or help you understand what the gospel is really telling you.